Targeting tax objective number 7. The student will demonstrate an understanding of 2- and 3-dimensional representations of geometric relationships and shapes. In problem number 1, we are asked what is the approximate length of the line segment joining the midpoint of segment AB and vertex C of the parallelogram shown below. The first thing we need to do is to identify points A and B. So point A is -6, -1, and point B is -3, 6. The problem asks us to find the midpoint of segment AB. To find the formula for midpoint, look on your tax formula chart. Here is the formula for midpoint that you should see on your tax formula chart. Now let's substitute in the values for x and y. In the place of x1, we want to substitute in -6. In the place of x2, we want to substitute in -3. For y1, we want to substitute in -1, and for y2, we want to substitute in +6. Let's use the calculator to simplify the numerators of these fractions. So add -6 plus -3. That gives you -9. And then -1 plus 6 gives you +5. So these fractions now become -9 divided by 2 and 5 divided by 2. To simplify these fractions, let's do -9 divided by 2, and you get -4.5, and 5 divided by 2, and you get 2.5. So the midpoint of segment AB would be the point -4.5, 2.5. What we're ultimately asked to find is the length of the segment that joins the midpoint of AB to vertex C. Point C has the coordinates 7, 6, and what we want to find is the length of segment CM. To find the length of a segment, we need to use the distance formula. The distance formula is also located on your tax formula chart. It should look like this. Now let's substitute in the values for x and y into the distance formula and find the length of segment CM. So into x2 we put 7 minus a -4.5 squared plus 6 minus 2.5 quantity squared. And let's go to the calculator to find this distance. We're going to type in the entire expression that you see here. It is very important that you're good with parentheses. So second square root, we need to put another parenthesis there and put 7, subtract -4.5 close parentheses squared plus open parenthesis 6 subtract 2.5 close parenthesis squared, and then close the parenthesis because you want to take the square root of this entire expression. Press enter. You see the answer that you get on your calculator. Now let's look at our answer choices, and you can see that the approximate length is 12. So the answer is C. Number 2. The coordinates of a right triangle are A, 2, -2, B, 5, 4, and C, 10, negative 6. Which pair of equations describes the lines that contain the legs of the right triangle? You are given a grid here to plot the points. You need to draw the y-axis and the x-axis. Remember, in the back of your tax testing booklet there is a sheet of grid paper. It can be used any time during the test for graphing. Now plot point A, point B, and point C. Draw the right triangle ABC. The legs are the sides of the right triangle that form the right angle. Our right angle is here, and so the legs are segments AB and AC. These are the two segments that we want to find the equations for. So to do that, we want to use STAT, and we want to input points first to find the line that contains points A and B. So in list 1, we want to put the x values for points A and B. So input 2 and 5. Into list 2, we want to put the y values for the coordinates A and B. So input -2 and then 4. Let's calculate a linear regression. Go to number 4 and hit enter. So the equation for the line AB is y equals 2x minus 6. Let's find the equation that contains the points AC. Go back to STAT, edit, and clear out the points that are there. Into list 1, we want to put the x values for points A and C. So input 2 and 10. In list 2, we want to put the y values for points A and C. So input -2 and -6. Now find the linear regression. So the equation for the line that contains the points A and C would be y equals -1/2 x minus 1. So the answer here would be J. These would represent the equations of the lines that contain the legs in this right triangle. In Objective 7, the targeted skills were the use of the formula charts to find the midpoint and distance formula. The square root key in the distance formula. Be careful to use parentheses when you're grouping numbers together, and anytime you are given points and asked to find the equation of a line, make sure you know how to find a linear regression. This concludes Targeting Tax Objective number 7. The student will demonstrate an understanding of 2- and 3-dimensional representations of geometric relationships and shapes.